Hello and welcome to Tome of Uselessness. I'm Devin.
I'm Dan.
And it's time to get sad. Because we're talking about season 5 of BoJack Horseman.
Everyone's favorite dysfunctional horse.
Hooray! Overall thoughts. What did you think, Dan?
It was amazing. It was so good. I couldn't stop watching. I have my issues with it, of course, which I assume we'll get into. But overall, I would highly recommend everyone watch it.
There you go.
What about yourself?
I mean, it made me sad.
Sure.
Made me question things.
That's good.
Yeah. It had, I really enjoyed it too. I watched it all. Although, I should point out that you started watching it before I did. You started on the Friday?
No, Saturday, because I had to finish something else first, so I started it Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, okay. And I started it Sunday night.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it was in my head, even though you never explicitly said it, I thought that you were finished the entire season, so I felt a little bit of like, I have to finish this now. And so it was really funny when we were texting and you're like, yeah, I'm only on episode 4, and I was like, I just finished.
Yeah. I paced it enough, I spread it over the 4 days, because I finished Tuesday.
Okay.
So, because on Monday I watched 3 episodes, and I was like, okay, I got 11, 12, because I knew if I was going to watch 11, I was like, well, I'll just finish it and then I'll be up too late. And Tuesday I watched the last 2 because I knew that they would have a big thing going on. So,
yeah. But yeah.
That's funny. So you just powered through it. I remember you in a day and a half you were done.
Yeah, because I was like, oh shit, I gotta catch up to Dan. And then as soon as I was finished, you're like, yeah, I'm on episode 4. And I'm like, all right.
Well, I think I was on episode 7, so I wasn't that far back.
I got the text. I'm reading the receipts.
No, because by Sunday evening I was on episode 7. And then so Monday, because I watched the 3, and then Tuesday I watched the last 2.
No.
And you were done by Sunday evening.
Let's see. No, I was done Monday. Because I finished it Monday before I went to work.
You were on episode 10 then. By Sunday evening.
Oh. Was I?
Yes, because I remember you specifically, because I was still on episode 7, and you're like, yeah, I just finished episode 10. And I was like, what? You just watched
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm wrong.
No, that's all. Because yes, it was enjoyable, and it really drew you in, and I think the entire show, if you watch from the beginning, of course, all these things build up to everything about it, so then you want to know, you want to see, you're drawn into the characters.
You know what's really cool about this show is that unlike other animated series, and this might be because it's on Netflix versus being on TV, but you do see a lot of growth in all the characters. If you go back and watch season 1, episode 1 versus season 5, episode 12, they're all different people.
Yeah, no,
and
absolutely.
it's very cool how that's been consistent. Whereas if you watch season 5, episode 12 versus season 10, episode whatever, Bart Simpson's basically Bart Simpson.
Right.
So it is interesting because I guess they're assuming you're watching it in order versus randomly on TV at whatever time of day. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I was going to say as well, you made a good point about how the show really, I thought you were going to bring up how it conveys emotion through the animated characters.
Oh, yeah.
And the voice work is top notch too.
Oh my god,
it's a good feeling out of them.
I was thinking through the whole thing, I'm like, this is some amazing voice acting.
Yes.
But what I was saying is that they do a really good job of animating intangible things like emotion.
Right.
And what I'm specifically referring to in this season, spoilers.
Yeah, no, the rest of the review is spoilers.
Is the episode where he's on painkillers. It's towards the end.
Yeah.
I think it's 10
that must be episode
or
10,
11.
Yeah.
When he's on painkiller and he can't seem to differentiate if he's
that was my
in
favorite
the real
episode.
world. Yeah, no, it was so well done.
Yeah.
But if he's in the real world or if he's in the TV show and what's happening, and he's getting really mixed up about it because he's doing the night shoots and he's on the drugs and everything. And I don't do heavy drugs. I'm a pretty lightweight.
Right.
And it don't even take Tylenol or Advil that much. but when I have my period, I have bad cramps, and I take a lot of it. And I've had those situations where, like, I'm walking to the SkyTrain, and I'm like, how did I get 3 blocks away from my house? Where I just, like, have no memory. Or, like I was saying earlier, like, when I was saying, like, I got to the end of episode 2, and I'm like, I don't remember episode 1 ending. Like,
it just kept going.
But that, like, weird, like, lapse of, like, confusion and, like, seeing kind of almost 2 things at the same time, they just did such a good job with it.
That was definitely something I wanted to highlight at some point in the discussion was that episode and its editing and its style and how the conversations all flowed, even though he's talking to different people at different times, and he is losing it, and you are totally drawn in and also confused because you're like, holy jeez, what is he doing?
It's like a little bit like Memento almost, right? Where you're like, oh, I am so fucking confused and enthralled.
Yeah, just couldn't look away.
And it's kind of like when I was watching it, because it's hard to watch something in a bubble and not compare it to, like, even itself.
Sure.
So I was, like, wondering if they were going to have a stupid piece of shit episode.
Yes.
Because in the previous season,
I was curious about that as well.
Amazing stupid piece of shit episode where it was, like, his internal dialogue, but it was, like, a cringy, but, like, a really, like, rudimentary style.
Yeah, the animation was very basic.
Yeah, versus, like, the kind of more stylized thing. So I was like, oh, are they going to have an episode like that? And when it got to the episode where he was talking at his mom's funeral, I was like, oh, that's a stupid piece of shit episode. But then we had the other episode where it was, like, the time jumping and the confusion and everything, and I'm like, oh, that's a stupid piece of shit episode.
Well, before we get into too many more awesome things about it, I want to bring up my negative complaint, I guess, about the season. I felt 2 things. Was one, I felt like they didn't know what to do with Holly Hawk, which was fine. They brought her back for the one time, and it was mentioned.
Oh, yeah,
and I was like, okay, well, no, it's a sister.
It was a sister, sorry.
And I was like, okay, that's fine. But then I was kind of more upset with the Todd storyline towards the end, especially because I was like, okay, I liked how in the first episode he he'll help BoJack with a scheme and it goes wrong, because that's classic Todd, and he ends up as a high-level ad sales guy in this company, or what time is it right now.com.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, that's funny, good classic comedy. And then it just goes along, and I liked actually the episode him with his girlfriend and that whole escapade, sexcapade, I guess you could say. It was good. But I didn't like was when eventually he builds the sex robot for his friend.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's hilarious, and it sets on fire on the thing, and I thought that was going to be the end of it. But then it somehow becomes the CEO of his company.
Okay.
Which eventually then leads to the show cancellation, which I was like, you know what, I'm fine with the Todd shenanigans leading to the show cancellation. That's in character. But it should have been more from the angle that he screwed up in the ad sales, and then they endorse some product that then gets protested a bunch, and then the show gets canceled. Not a robot that he built that is janky, and how does no one know it's a robot? Like, come on.
Okay.
That was my main
complaint. 100% disagree with you. I love this. Okay,
every time I was like, God damn this robot.
It's classic BoJack humor.
Yeah.
To, like, have something that is so obvious.
Yeah.
But nobody seems to notice, like the kid in the trench coat.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Okay. Or what was his name?
Oh, man.
But Princess Carolyn's ex, right?
Yeah.
A sex robot. I didn't think it was too much of a stretch that people thought the sex robot. And I just thought, like, at first it was like, oh my god, why are they dragging this on?
Yeah.
But then it just got funnier to me because I just, having it say, like...
Yeah, the random stuff all the time.
And people being
I want more. Oh man, we're getting more episodes.
Yeah. It was, I don't know, I just found it really funny.
Okay.
And I specifically found, I liked when Todd killed it.
Yes.
I thought that was amazing.
That was hilarious.
But the whole, like, I love it when you call me father.
Yeah.
Was so funny, and it was such a, like, I kind of was looking at it from, like, obviously Todd knows what sex is.
Yes.
I'm not saying that asexuals don't understand sex.
No, of course.
But they've made it part of Todd's character that he doesn't understand sex.
Yes.
just like, it was almost like a child imagining what like a sexy robot would say, so I found that really funny, right?
That's fair. No, like I said, the robot stuff was funny. I just didn't like the plot arc of it becoming the CEO, leading to the show cancellation. I was fine with the robot doing other things. It could have been. So that was my take, essentially.
What worked for me is because I felt like they were making commentary on Hollywood.
Oh, absolutely.
And the Me Too movement and everything, right?
Because everything came back around.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious the whole season, right? With the actor versus like BoJack and BoJack becoming a feminist.
Yes.
So I felt like it was a good kind of like, it tied into the rest of the season. So I was okay with it, even if you weren't.
Okay, well,
And actually I found Todd's storyline really sweet, and the fact that he's like, loves his friend and wants to be her boyfriend, but he doesn't want to have sex with her, and it's like an important part of a relationship for her. I don't know, it's just like interesting dynamic.
No, I liked all that stuff except for the robot
Except for the robot.
Except for the robot being the CEO leading to the cancellation of the show. I thought that was out of place.
I thought it was hilarious, especially since the thing that leads to like the sexual harassment charges against the robot was the robot saying that it was running out of batteries.
Losing power.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did like that, like he said when they were entering the room, she's like, well, I've heard him say those things before, but I thought he meant this. And it's like, what? I'm just like, I don't know.
And then another CEO just offers him a job at the end.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, that part of it didn't land for me. The robot itself was funny.
Yeah.
But I just didn't like that it was used for that plot device.
Yeah, okay.
That's my point.
I let it slide because I enjoyed the sex robot so much.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I really liked Todd's storyline overall.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think we can talk a little bit about some of the other storylines before we get to like everything about BoJack that we liked. I mean, we can mention PC, of course.
Oh wait, we're talking about what we don't like, right?
Well, yeah, that was something I didn't like. Yes.
I felt like there should have been one more episode.
Yeah,
I felt it ended really abruptly.
Yeah.
I felt like everybody's storylines were pretty well tied up, but Diane's was not at all. Mm. And I thought there would be, if not one more episode, then like one more scene, I guess, with Diane, just like giving me some sort of closure on that.
Right.
And then BoJack just being like, well, I'm going to a rehab center now, which I guess it's growth for his character and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, I think I needed a little bit of space between like the strangulation episode and him actually checking into rehab. Like I needed a half an episode in between those two or something, you know what I mean? Like it needed a little bit more of a realization from BoJack or something.
Well, it was almost like I was thinking like that's like almost like a comedy setup where it's like the hard cut is him jumping out of a window trying to like escape essentially.
But,
I know what you mean when it felt like, I mean, I don't know, I felt it was appropriately length, but then it was also like, obviously I want more. But they haven't announced that they're doing a season 6.
Yeah.
But
I guess they could just leave it at that.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. It almost ended like, many of the seasons have ended almost in the sense that it's like, if there's no more, it's done.
Yeah.
And it made sense. If there's more, they can continue on.
Yeah.
Right? So
except for season 4 kind of left a bit on a cliffhanger.
Did it?
Yeah, because he kind of just takes his hands off the wheel of the car.
Yeah, but again, I mean, that could just be, he's out there living life something, right?
Or he killed himself.
Yeah, exactly. No, I understand what you're saying. Narratively, like you said, the Diane thing, just for driving, and then it just ends. And even myself, when it ended, like I was texting you, I was like, I don't even know what to feel. Like, I'm sad, I'm like sort of happy, but I'm not. And I'm like, I'm soul crushed, but I don't know, because you feel for Diane the entire time, of course.
Oh my god, Diane, like episode, I think it was episode 2.
When she goes to Nam,
When she goes to, was just, it was okay, and then she gets to that scene where she's like, she saw Mr. Peanut Butter kiss Pickles and put his hand on the smaller of her back, and she realized he would never do that to her again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the most heartbreaking sentence I've ever heard in my life.
It was. I I thought the episode was kind of cool because we got to see a little more of Diane. Because I don't know what the time jump is between the seasons. I think it was like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was just like she's got the short hair, and you're like, what's going on? And then when the episode starts, it's just her crying and driving and packing a bag, and I was like, what is even happening here?
Yeah. No, I thought it was a great episode. I just like that one moment that was like, well, my heart's broken now.
Yeah.
Life isn't real. I'm gonna go kill myself.
It was pretty good. I really did like how I thought it was cool how eventually on the BoJack Horseman episode, and then he gets her to come right for the show, and everyone's all like, nah, you don't have to do anything, and she's like trying to do her thing.
Yeah.
And I guess she's still working for Girl Cruise, right?
Yeah.
The website. So no, it was cool because Diane's a great character, but I could see it being difficult to get situations to get Diane involved in. Because like the last season, I think it was mostly just her and Peanut Butter was the dynamic, and BoJack showed up once in a while. So this one, again, we kind of got back to her with BoJack a little more, but still they weren't, because he was with Regina a lot more.
Yeah, I liked Regina. Regina.
Yeah, it was Gina, sorry.
She was a good character.
Yeah, she was. As Sassy Malone.
Yeah.
Great character name. Yeah. So, she's a great character, and then she does confront BoJack a couple times throughout the season, which were pretty good.
Yeah, they have like such an interesting relationship because they're friends.
Yeah, but they're obviously like so good for each other, but terrible for each other.
Yeah, for sure. It's like they can really go one way or the other, and there's no middle ground.
Yeah. Well, and even because in the first season as well, like he basically talks about how he doesn't like a lot of people, but he likes her, right?
Yeah. Is it in the first season or the second season where he tries to kiss her?
That's the first one, I think. Yeah. Because that's when she's still writing the book about him.
Yeah. So it's also like that little like they kind of address it when she comes over and gets drunk at his house, and she's like, we can make out right now.
Yeah. And then she just passes out.
Yeah. And he's like, what?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I really liked her storyline throughout the way there again. Sorry, getting a little sidetracked. Was there anything else you didn't like before I go back to harping on things I did?
I think that was it. There was a lot. I don't know if it's just because I binge watched it, but like, it's not a thing that I minded, but I felt like there was less comedy in this one.
Oh yeah, no, there was definitely. I don't think I laughed out loud as much as previous seasons.
Until the sex robot came.
Until the sex robot showed up, sure.
All the time.
Yeah, no, I don't think there was as much overt comedy. It's more the entirety of the situation was comedic.
Yeah, it's more story driven than it was before, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's always been story driven, but it's more like it's not like a fun romp.
Yeah, I think in this episode the overall arc with BoJack as well was that he was really, until episode 6, I think it was, he's really trying to get it together. Like PC really tells him, she's like, look, I know I forced your signature on the contract, you said you'd do it for me, just get your shit together.
Yeah.
Let's do the show. And and he's doing that, and I like that because
what happened in episode 6?
Episode 6 is the one that's when he does the funeral, but it's episode 5 when he gets injured on the stunt. So it's like that's when he starts getting the meds, and then it's episode 7 when he's starting to get all messed up, right? So he's doing better though. He's trying and because I don't know if you've noticed throughout the entirety of the season how he's like, oh, I got a system when it comes to booze, and in the beginning it's one bottle.
It's one bottle with each day of the week, and then at the end of it it's like a bottle
a day. And I was like, oh no, it's gone wrong.
That was the Hollyhock episode. Where he's got a bottle a day.
He's got a bottle a day suddenly, whereas before he was splitting one bottle
for the whole week.
For a whole week.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. And then that episode as well with Hollyhock, where he goes and visits, and he's like trying to get all the pills from everything, and he visits doctor, and he's like, oh, that Sarah Lynn thing was a huge wake-up call, and he's like, oh yeah, that's why I'm here trying to score opioids.
Yeah. And he's like, it's for my back.
Yeah, it's for my back.
Yeah.
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 So, but before we go back to the BoJack, I guess, there was PC, Princess Carolyn.
Yeah.
What do you think of her storyline overall?
It's sad.
Yeah, she's trying to adopt a child, but balance her work and her career.
Yeah, and just like her backstory is sad.
It's all revealed here.
She's like miscarried before.
Yes,
and she has
that was super bad, like harsh, because obviously you see it with her and Stilton.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, damn.
Yeah. And like she missed out on an opportunity to have a happy life with.
Well, quote unquote happy.
Yeah.
Right. Like it would have been a comforting life.
A comforting. Yeah.
Because she would have.
Well, he seemed to like her.
Sure, but we don't know.
Yeah.
The entire,
we don't know, but
yeah.
It just was sad.
Yes.
It was sad.
Yeah.
And then when like...
You know who I missed though was, and I couldn't remember why she fired him, was her previous assistant.
Oh, Judah.
Judah was so amazing.
Oh, I loved him. Yeah. I shipped them so hard. I just wanted him to marry her the whole time. Yeah, she amazing. Fired him because he was looking...
Yeah, I remember like a deal went wrong or something.
No, he like went not behind her back, but he was looking into like merging her management company with the previous agency.
Right.
But like he hadn't told her that he was looking into it.
Right.
And so it just made him look kind of slimy.
Right.
But it was actually because it was like a good business option.
Yeah, he was like it was like mathematically this will be good.
Yeah.
Not to screw you over or whatever, right? But yeah, because he was great. Yeah, because Vim still has her production company, and she's I think that was it because she didn't have like a Judah type guy to delegate to, so she's doing everything.
Yeah.
And that interferes the entire season with her trying to adopt a child essentially.
Yeah. But I guess she gets one at the end.
Yeah.
It looks like.
Yeah. It looked like that worked out for her there.
Which is good. What was the mouse's name?
Stilton.
Yeah.
Like the cheese.
Like the cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made an appearance.
Yeah, I was shocked when he showed up. I was like, what? Oh!
I'm like, oh, he's just a really good guy.
That was not funny, but like the situation because he drives her to a woman's having a baby, and then she's like, oh, it'll be good to go to a family, and they're like, no. He's like, yes, and she's like, no, we're not together.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this is awkward.
Yeah. I love that the reason they brought him back is because Mr. Peanut Butter wanted to make a movie based off a greeting card.
Yeah.
Birthday Dad. So she should meet with him.
It's Birthday Dad. Yeah, but what is it? It's Birthday Dad.
Birthday Dad.
Yeah. That's such a peanut butter thing.
Yeah.
And which I did enjoy the peanut butter stuff. I really enjoyed, of course, when he's trying to toughen himself up and just toughen his image.
God, yeah.
And everything he does just helps people.
Yeah. And he tries to get Todd to help him because Todd's the toughest person you know.
Yeah. But he goes to like that rhino smoking and like smacks the cigarettes out of his hand. He's like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, thank you. My dad died of lung cancer. And all this stuff. Gives this long-winded speech. And then
and going to the
biker bar.
Yeah.
And just everything was pretty good. No, I actually really enjoyed because Peanut Butter has always been kind of like BoJack's always annoyed with him so much. Whereas in this season that he was only like minorly annoying because eventually he gets hired on to Philbert as his partner. And they actually work really well together, and be like Peanut Butter's like acting, right?
Yeah,
like you always just see him be jovial, like but he's like actually acting in the show and stuff like that, and it was good. And his whole thing with Pickles and Diane, of course, was an interesting storyline towards, especially for me, to the end when he's having the conversation with Pickles. I was like, no, Peanut Butter.
Yeah. You know the episode with the Halloween party.
Peanut Butter's booze.
Was great.
Yes.
Because it showed the same party but with 4 different partners essentially, and he like over the course of the evening comes to the realization that like
something goes wrong.
The women that he divorces are bitter and cold, but the women that he starts dating are usually happy and full of life, and he like wonders if it's his fault.
Yes.
And then we also got that really sweet moment where Diane goes to check on Pickles and make sure she's okay, and it's just like, oh, Diane's a good person.
Yeah. No, and that was a good on her kind of thing. And I was to say, I actually really did like the one moment when he picks up Pickles and he's like, oh, let's go watch the space station blow up. Then they're listening to that thing. He's like, oh, can you not turn on romantic music? Because she was like, oh, maybe we're going too fast. And he's like, oh, it's like a podcast and it's hosted by Diane. And it's like, oh, that's kind of awkward. And he's like, okay, let's go to something else. And then it's like, here's a new song by like 21 Pilots. He's like, ooh, back to the podcast. And then even the Russian lady that Diane's interviewing is like, so he gave you a room full of books and you were mad? And she's like, thank you. I just thought there were some good moments there with the peanut butter throughout the entire season. Yeah, he's always been not a minor character, but he's just kind of like doing weird stuff, and he's like, haha. But this time there was some growth until the last moment.
Yeah, and they are like, oh, peanut butter, no.
But I guess the show is about everyone always falling into the cycles of what makes them not the best person.
Well, yeah, that was like an overall theme, especially with BoJack, right? Where like Diane finally confronts him, and she's like, "You're not a good or bad person.
Yeah.
You can't make yourself a good person. You weren't a bad person to start, but you make the same choices over and over."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, like I said, I really enjoyed Peanut Butter, and the Halloween episode was great. It was great to see some of the interaction with some of his exes, because you just hear either talk or there are some flashbacks, or when he's running for governor and Jessica Biel's there.
Right, yeah.
The Jessica Biel thing with her auditioning for the Mummy and not getting it.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
It was so hilarious. And he's the notebook trying to protect her. He's like, don't turn her, like, he gives a long-winded thing about, like, don't turning around.
Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, because he always gives his references.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, am I, blah, 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 but it's like 20 seconds long. Because don't turn around. Yeah, and then his first wife, which I can't remember her name now. Oh, it was that something that had a moment ago.
The one that was,
I guess it was like pre-fame that he met this woman and married her, right? And then of course, then it's Jessica Biel afterwards, and then Diane, and then Pickles. Yeah. Right, so. And it was really, like you said, great to see that progression and different things, and it's like the same situation, but differently, right?
Yeah, and it was also interesting because, like, Peanut Butter, for the most part, up until this season, has been painted as, like, a really good guy with really good intentions.
Right.
And then if there's something shitty, it's not his fault.
Well, or just you always get the sense that he's like he's just like doesn't let anything bother him like that, right?
No, I mean, like, if there's like a shitty person around, it's not his fault that they're that way. But then
I see what you're saying.
At the party, you see kind of like a different side of that, where it's like, yeah, he's really social and friendly and nice to everybody, but he's also kind of being neglectful to his dates who didn't know anybody and blah blah blah.
Yeah, they're like, don't leave me alone, and he's like, oh, go talk to Ben Stein.
Yeah.
That notoriously boring man will be great at parties. I couldn't stop laughing at that line.
Yeah, then she changes her whole outlook on life because she had a conversation with Ben Stein and Tim Allen.
Yeah. He's like, from a half an hour conversation with them? I thought that line was pretty hilarious. So. Yeah. No, you were absolutely right. And then I thought it was like, it was all great. And then, he's, him and Diane, he cheats on Pickles a couple times with Diane, which I was shocked the first time. I was like, wait, what? Yeah. And then, and he's like, gonna tell Pickles the truth, and then she's like, gives, oh, I love you, and then he's just like, marry me, and I was like, no, Pickles, you did it again, or no, Peanut Butter.
She didn't give an answer though, did she?
No, it just
she might say no.
Yeah, she could say no. Yeah. It just cut away, right? So we don't know.
Yeah.
But he still did propose rather than tell her the truth about what was going on.
Yeah.
BoJack, let's talk about the main man.
Okay. I think, what I want to touch on before we talk about BoJack.
Okay.
Which is kind of talking about BoJack.
Well, it's always kind of.
But the funeral episode.
Yes. Free Churros, it's called. Episode 6.
Yeah, Free Churros. Yeah. I remember that. I honestly don't know any other show that could have one character talking continuously for 25 minutes without any, like, cuts.
I was about to say, or blocking changes.
Or like, blocking, yeah.
The scene is literally the same scene.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like a continuous take.
But you know what I mean, yeah.
But, like, or flashbacks, except for, like, one minor, but he's still kind of in the same thing. They could pull that off successfully the way that show did. Like, that's so ambitious, and it could just flop so hard.
I couldn't look away. I was drawn in the entire episode.
Oh, me too.
And he's just standing there, walking back and forth, talking. Like, the scene never changes. It sometimes goes to a long shot of him with the coffin, and then it goes back to the same frontal shot, and it was just like, it was 25 minutes of like, holy jeez.
And the progression of, like, that is some good writing.
Oh, yeah.
Because the progression of his
rambling eulogy
just takes you, like, on a very specific and coherent journey, almost of his, like, phases of grief.
Yeah.
Like, It was insane.
Yeah, it was definitely quite incredible, and you have to give Will Arnett all the credit for...
Well, for the voice acting, but also whoever wrote that was fucking brilliant, right? Like, holy shit. And how do you pitch that?
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I'm going to write down this thing. It's just going to be like 5 pages long. We're going to do it in the middle of this season.
It almost seems like you were saying back to the beginning that it's like, it almost seems like, because BoJack's one of Netflix's earlier projects.
Yeah.
That they have carte blanche almost.
Yeah.
It seems like they...
Oh, totally.
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah. It's totally like, that episode, well, it wasn't like the funniest or the most entertaining or even the most like heartfelt or the saddest or anything like that. It still fucking blew my mind.
No, it was very good.
It blew my mind that it was in the middle of the season.
That's where it was interesting to me because, like I said, the one episode before that, it's still all crazy. Like, a lot of characters doing their thing. He's doing his show, and then all of a sudden, it's like just the opening shot is just him in front of this coffin, and you're like, what is happening?
With his sling and everything.
Yeah, the sling, right? And then he just starts talking, and then it just doesn't stop. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I actually like put my mouse over the timeline at the bottom because I'm like, is this the whole episode? I'm like, holy fuck, this is the whole episode.
Yeah, it was like I said, for the middle of the season, because normally that's when like the story starts amping up or this or that.
You could full stop lose half your viewers if that wasn't done properly, right?
Sure.
And like if it was like.
Or I think, like you said, that people hadn't been invested from the beginning with this character because you know his relationship with his mom and with his parents and etc. Right? So. And
like really, when you think about it, this episode there was really nothing revealed or nothing that really served the plot.
Yeah.
It could have been omitted from the season.
Sure.
And they could have just had an off-screen his mom died. He could have got a phone call or something like that.
Similar to how they do with his dad.
Totally. They could have taken this just completely out of the season and it wouldn't have changed the season that much.
Yeah.
But it also didn't feel like filler. My complaint in season 2 of Westworld was that the episode that everybody liked, episode 8, was a filler episode.
Right.
Because you had completely different characters, and it didn't really serve the plot that much. A lot of it could have been explained off screen, kind of been...
Sure.
Whatever, right? So that one didn't work for me, but this one really did.
This one, I was telling my friend yesterday, it was somehow one shot... at one location, one character, and it was super compelling, and I couldn't look away, and I just wanted, like you said, the eulogy, because at a couple points it kind of stops, and you're like, oh, but then he keeps going, and he keeps going, and like you said, it brings you through this entire world, and his entire thought process, and his entire feelings for his mother, and for his parents, and all this stuff like that, and it was really well, it was quite incredible to see in this show.
It could have been, if they had, a natural stop was at the end of the churro story. Yeah. If they'd stop and then cut to a different character, and then or even come back to him, that would have been fine too. But the fact that they just did BoJack talking at a funeral, I can't think of any other show that would work in.
But I was gonna say, and it was one of the greatest comedy setups in that the last punch.
Oh yeah,
he's at the wrong funeral.
He's at the wrong funeral. Yeah.
Which I almost thought I was like, is this gonna happen when he lifted the coffin? And I was like, no. And it cuts and it's a whole different family.
Yeah.
which was pretty great, of course.
It kind of it adds to BoJack's character too. That he's that self-involved. Yeah. He doesn't even notice that he's at the wrong funeral.
Yeah, or didn't think that it was oh, these are my mom's colleagues or friends.
Yeah.
It's just well, because you hear a couple mutterings at a couple points, and then he says some stuff where he's like, oh no, and then just keeps going with the eulogy. But it's starting at the beginning. So he's doing the show Philbert. That Princess Carolyn roped him into doing. Yeah. And then he gets together with Gina, his co-star, on the show. So
this is an episode or a moment I want to talk about.
Sure.
Now that you bring it up.
Okay. I was in the first episode.
Cool. When BoJack finds out that Gina loves musicals.
Yes.
And sets up an audition for her to sing in front of Princess Carolyn and the director. Flip, yeah. First of all, I didn't think it sounded that bad.
No, yeah, she sounded good.
The thing was, it just wasn't great.
Yeah.
And I think that made it even more heartbreaking when she ran out of the room, because it's not like she bombed and everybody knew it.
Yeah.
It was like she just wasn't great.
She wasn't top notch.
She was just okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's so like, I don't know, it's such a BoJack thing to be just like the mediocrity of it, right? Like.
Well, I would say, when he tries to help, it goes way beyond than what people are asking for.
Yeah. That too, but like just like the fact that she's just okay.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, it was just like, it was such a heart-wrenching moment. And then she deletes the whole...
That I wasn't seeing. I was like, whoa, you don't have to delete your musicals.
Yeah, and then on top of that, and then that's when she starts kind of committing to being in a relationship-ish to BoJack, is when she feels like she's at her lowest. It's just like, holy shit, this show gets people.
Yeah. But yeah, he's doing the show, and it's, going well. He's trying to... Because they draw him... At least when he's wearing his police costume, he's, like, thinner. He doesn't look like he's all, like, bloated and BoJacky, right? Like, he's trying to cut down on his booze and etc. And I did like how... Especially it's in the first episode, how he's like, why are we, like, on my house? And the guy in the Flip's like, it's a commentary on how austere and, like, depressed this guy is, and it's literally BoJack's house. Yeah. Because at the end they go to a party, and he's like, you do live in his house.
Yeah, there's that one throwaway line from Todd where he's like, it looks like David Borealis' house. Because of that episode previously where they, like, tell everybody that it might have been, like, season 2 or 3.
Right.
But for whatever reason, they switch out all the BoJack pictures with pictures of the guy that played Angel.
No, yeah, because he's...
and then they were doing tours in the house.
Yeah, that's right. When BoJack was gone, he was doing tours.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And then Todd's like, oh, it looks like David Borealis.
That's right.
And then Flip was like, yeah, the set director went on a tour of his house. And it was like a throwaway line, and it was so funny.
No, I recall now what you're saying, yes.
Yeah. I think that's his name, but anyways, the actor that plays Angel, clearly had to look it up.
Right. And then, he's doing the show. We've already highlighted a couple standout things. Because Mr. Peanut Butter gets on the show, and then there's a stunt that Diane wants to make it look more, like, awesome instead of just, like, them being on the roof. So she convinces Flip...
No, was it Flip wanted, like, he's like, yeah, it's really dangerous to ride motorcycles, so then they get off the motorcycles and, like, take the elevator down or something stupid like that.
Something like that,
And Diane writes this big, like...
It's like an action scene.
Yeah.
And then, so Peanut Butter's going to do his own stunt, so BoJack's going to do his own stunt.
Right.
And then that's when he gets hurt.
And then and Princess Carolyn is trying to adopt a baby.
So she's out of town.
And he was trying to get her to, like, help him get out of doing the stunt.
Yeah.
But she...
Rehire back his stuntman who he fired.
Yeah.
And she's like, why don't you do it? He's like, well, I went kind of personal. Which, that definitely could be a BoJack thing.
Yeah.
I feel like there was something in episode... Oh, yeah, of course, the episode 4 when he was doing all the feminist stuff, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's when he gets Diane to come on the show, yeah.
Before Peanut Butter comes on, they have a different Mel Gibson-esque actor.
Who's going to be the partner.
In mind to be the partner.
Yeah, and they need, like, a bad boy of Hollywood.
Yeah, and then they find out that he's...
already doing worse things.
What was it? It was like he had left a voicemail on his 14-year-old daughter's phone saying he was gonna murder her.
Yeah. No, that was in the montage because it was
okay.
Yeah, he like hit and then he like swears at a cop a couple times.
Yeah.
And then it's like then there's the he's gonna murder his daughter and he's like, I'm standing here with my daughter and wife to like apologize. And it's like, then he does something else, and then he's getting a forgivey, talking about how like he apologizing so much.
Oh yeah, and then BoJack makes a face.
At the cheese.
He thinks he's making a face. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, blah blah blah. Peanut Butter gets the job.
Yes, because they're like, we need an actor that nobody hates.
Oh, they hire Diane because they want a woman on the team.
No, BoJack, because he realizes that he's like talking about the violence against women and how things can normalize it in the show, and then he's like, wait, Diane was right. We should get her on the show.
Oh, to normalize it.
To make things better, to not normalize the violence and stuff like that, right? Because there was like stripper scenes previously and that kind of thing, right? So BoJack wants to get Diane on the show.
And he does his naked scene. That's part of it.
That's part of the first episode, which was good.
Oh, wait, that was the first episode?
Yeah, that was all in the first episode. It was intense.
Holy shit.
And then which I thought was hilarious because it's like BoJack gets Diane on the show, and then PC and Flip are trying to figure out, and then they get Peanut Butter on the show. Of course, they've just recently been divorced.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Classic right there.
I did like that. Sorry, we're gonna go all over the place. You're not gonna get a fully synopsis out of this.
We're totally in timeline here.
Okay, so going back to the episode with Diane in episode 2 when she goes to Vietnam.
Yes.
I love that she has a fling with an American.
Yeah.
And pretends to not speak English.
Yeah.
For basically the whole romance.
What I loved. Oh, sorry.
And then he gets mad
when she speaks English.
When she speaks English, and then she was just kind of like, "Fuck you! You just talked for 2 hours."
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I love that episode when she's talking, and then there's like the tourists, and then they're like, "Oh, you speak really good English," and she's like, "No, I'm American," and he's like, "No, me American." She's like, "No, me American," and they just go back and forth. No, me America. I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, that was good.
Because she's like standing and saluting, but she's wearing like a rice hat.
Yeah.
And she's like, me America. Yeah, that was good. And then, so BoJack gets injured, and then, which, this is really real world scenario, he gets addicted to opioids.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, of course, like, you don't realize, it's not that it's like sort of subtle because you see him taking some because you're like, oh, okay, he was there. But then it's like, he's like taking them like all the time, and you're like, whoa. Well,
and the accident coincides with his mom's death, so he's obviously not dealing with his mom's death in a healthy way.
No. Which was hilarious when he's like, oh, I'm going to Diane's therapist, and he's like, well, we'll just hang out during lunch. And it's just like, oh, we can't do our lunch hangouts anymore.
He's like, and to make sure Diane doesn't know, well, you can charge me on the books for it.
Yeah. Yeah, Diane asks him not to see his therapist, and then he's like, okay, Diane asked me not to see you, so we'll do it behind your back. Oh God, BoJack.
That episode where the therapist is talking with her wife.
Yeah, interior sub
is hilarious.
Yes.
Because
Diana. Yeah.
They like change the names of everybody so that like to keep patient confidentiality.
Yes.
So they make BoJack. What was his name?
Bobo the zebra, I think it was.
Bobo the dysfunctional zebra. Yeah. So they changed the whole opening credits,
which was great.
Which is great. And then Diane was Princess Diana.
Yeah.
And then the wife was like
a lawyer, like
a mediator.
Yeah.
For Princess Carolyn and Todd, and she just Todd's like got a hand.
Yeah,
for
he's like
face.
Emperor Five Fingers or Fingers or something. Emperor Fingers or something along those lines. Yeah.
And then Princess Carolyn is just a sentient mist of yearning. Or something.
Basically it was like I don't know if I have it written down here. It was a gas cloud of yearning or something along those lines. shaped like a person.
Yeah, which is basically what she is.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a cool framing device. And it was funny, too, because then at one point they're like, oh, well, we'll bounce back and forth between our two stories, so it makes sense.
My story almost seems like a secondary story.
Yeah.
It was well done.
Yeah. And
everything in that show was well done.
Yes, very well done. And that was, of course, earlier, Diane got some evidence from Spanakopita about the New Mexico stuff that BoJack was involved with, so then she's curious about the whole time, and then of course his mom's death, so he's like, do you want, and then that same episode when Peanut Butter realizes his parents are dead.
Oh my god, so funny.
Because he's like, no, they just go live on a farm where there's no internet or cable and they can run around.
Oh
and then
my god.
Gina's like, I think your mom is dead. And then he's like, oh my god, and then later he's like, well, my dad is up there, and he's like, oh my god. Oh, jeez, Peanut Butter. So yeah, Diane the whole time is trying to get BoJack to like either confide or talk with him about it, and he's not having any of that because, of course, therapy is dumb to BoJack.
Yeah.
And then, so he still just bottles it up and all that kind of stuff. And then the next episode with Hollyhock, I think it's the next episode with Hollyhock. That's the next one's with the booze. But then Hollyhock shows up in episode 9.
What's the next one?
That was the Halloween one.
Oh, the Halloween one.
Yeah,
right.
We talked about that bunch. And then Hollyhock comes to visit, and then she fears that BoJack's gonna...
She has PTSD from BoJack's mom drugging her to make her lose weight.
Yes. So she dumps his pills, and then they go on a wacky adventure to go try to get more pills.
Yeah.
And then I just love that when they meet, like, so he goes to the doctor who was Princess Sarah Lynn's hookup.
Right.
And then he's like, no, I'm clean now, I don't do that anymore. And then eventually they end up in like this, like the aqueducts buying drugs from like a sketchy guy, and then he's still in his cop costume. And then the guy's like, you're like a cop. He's like, oh no, I'm just in costume. And then like that real cop shows up, like Fuzzy Meow Meow or whatever his name. And he's like got a badge lining under his t-shirt. And he's like, I am definitely not a cop.
That episode was sad.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he drops Hollyhock off, he's basically like, I'm sorry, I'm going to try harder. Yeah. And then like 2 seconds later, he drives into traffic to get in an accident so that he can get more opioids.
I definitely saw it coming. Even as soon as he dropped her off, I was like, he is going to hurt himself in the next like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I thought so too, but it's still sad, right?
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he drives into traffic to then get more opioids.
Yeah.
And then, which leads to episode 10? What happens in episode 10? Oh, that's just more stuff with like the Philbert. That was actually a lot of focus with PC on that one when they had to deal with that popsicle guy because apparently they stole a line.
Oh, that's with the award show and stuff too, right?
No, it's just like the
premiere.
The premiere, yeah. That's with the premiere. And then again, him and Diane.
Him and Diane get in a fight, which was hilarious because they're at a premiere, so they're like fighting, but as soon as somebody walked by, they'd be like, oh, hey!
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying the show. Like, get their pictures taken and stuff.
Yeah. It was also like an interesting... It was a setup for Peanut Butter cheating on Pickles because Pickles is just not that interested in the show and she leaves kind of in the first 10 minutes and doesn't watch to support him. Yeah,
because she's like, I'll leave and go watch it all to support you.
Yeah.
And then, Diane and BoJack have an intense fight and like a lot of stuff brought up there and like, and then he does tell her about the New Mexico incident, of course.
Yeah, because she writes it into the show at one point.
Yeah, in episode 7 in the interior sub.
Yes, right.
And then she writes it all into the show. It was all pretty. It was like everything involving him was intense. There's no doubt. Yeah, especially him and Diane. Because it's like I was saying before, it's like she knows so much about him and like knows what makes him tick, and he's like they are so similar yet not, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And so
they're both kind of self-destructive in different ways.
Yeah. And then leads to the episode 11, which, like I was saying earlier, was my favorite episode of the season just because of the style and the way it was presented and how it didn't go wrong for what they did. Which is the episode where he's heavily into the drugs now and everything.
Didn't it go wrong when he strangled Gina, though?
No, the episode itself.
Oh, like the structure.
The structure of the show and it animated.
I thought you meant, oh no, it went great for him. I'm like, dude, he strangled a girl.
No, I meant the structure and the actual visual presentation of it.
Oh my god, yeah, it was great, hey?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like I was saying, it conveyed something that there's no, like, visual representation of being on drugs, right? Yeah. Like, unless you want to go with, like, cheesy 60s LSD,
kaleidoscope stuff. It was just so cool how and it's focused 100% practically on him and just his interactions, and so it's like we see through his eyes how he's not connecting anymore with like the people and what real is, and like I said, it's like he's shooting a scene on the show but he thinks it's like involved with his real life, and then it's like he's doing a real life thing but it's involved with the show, and it's just it all cuts together so
and he doesn't know if he's on set or in his house.
Yeah, that's right. Because they look the same, and he's wearing the same clothing all the time.
Yeah, and Gina's Gina's like, I know what you're going through because I went through it. And he's like, I'm not going through anything.
Yeah. And then they near the end of the episode when they show all of his like drug stashes and how just ridiculous they all are and over the top. Like he opens it, takes a banana off the banana tree and opens it and there's a pill bottle inside. Just stuff like that, and you're like, oh my god, guy.
And then when Gina's confronting him in the show about like his partner never existing.
Yeah, how he's the bad guy.
Yeah, and then she's also confronting him
about his drugs at the same time.
Drugs, and it's like this. Yeah, it's just so well done.
Yeah, it was extremely well done and it was crazy just how the story all came to a head in that way and how well it was all built towards that with like his drug taking and his opioids and etc. and like you know, the booze because like he's upped his booze content as well as taking all the opioids.
It was like a slow burn kind of because it was a setup in the background the entire show.
Yeah, well, and just even with going back to the guy who he strangled a coworker on set and blah blah blah, and then like he said all the stuff because BoJack when in the feminism episode talks about like you shouldn't be doing these things, and then of course it all comes around that he ends up doing something like this. Oh my god, like I was just so blown away by it and just like
and then like PC tries to protect him don't go on your phone, don't go on the news. And then he's like finally like, well, I just need to see what it is. Yeah. And then she shows him and he's like, holy fuck.
Yeah, basically. And that's in the next episode when the...
Oh, is that the next episode? Sorry.
That's alright, that's fine. Yeah.
Getting mixed up.
That's alright.
BoJack it out.
You just... No, well, we're
took a Tylenol.
Yeah. No, like I said, we're talking BoJack's storyline and a PC, like I said, trying to do her job.
Yeah.
And because she's both his manager, Peanut Butter's manager, as well as the producer on the show.
Right, yeah.
So she wants to keep it all going, right? So they're gonna do an apology tour kind of thing, and BoJack's like, I can't do that. Like I should tell the truth. Like he actually tries for one moment
to do the right thing.
And Gina tells him not to do it.
Yeah, and her reasoning is good.
It's very sound, which is brutal.
When she says, I don't want the thing that people to remember about me being like, I don't want you to be the thing that people remembers about me. Yeah. I'm like, oh fuck yeah.
It's extremely brutal, and because throughout the season with Gina, of course, she talks about how she's always just been she's Sassy Malone, the sidekick character. But when Philbert, she becomes into the limelight because she gets interviews now, she's getting other job offers.
And then both of their faces were on the posters for season 2.
Yeah, and then it comes to a head in this incident where she's like, don't do that.
Don't fuck it up for me.
Yeah, don't fuck it up. And it's like, oh crap.
Yeah, and so he doesn't.
He doesn't, They play along with the whole charade.
And then when everybody leaves the set, and it's just him sitting there too. They do such a good job of like feeling alone, like feeling lonely.
And then he attempts, because he goes to Diane and is like, you have to do one of your Hollywood takedowns on me, but leave Gina out of it. He's like, take me down, I'm a bad guy. Yeah. And then she's like, no, you just screwed up. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, this show. Yeah. What is happening? Because then it leads to the cancellation.
And then she convinced him, to the cancellation, Well, and she convinced him to go to rehab.
Yes. Yeah. But then, because they do this thing to try to keep the show going, and then immediately it gets canceled. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god. My emotions.
Because of the sex robot.
That Todd built.
The Todd built, yeah.
Like I said, I was fine with Todd shenanigans leading to the show
cancellation. There's such a funny line. It was like a throwaway line, but when she's like, I don't know, she's kind of like, this isn't what I'm into, when he's like giving her the sex robot. Yeah. And he's like, well, I built it in an hour.
or he says it's my first attempt or something.
It's my first attempt.
Yeah. Yeah, because I did like when he was breaking up with, what was her name? Not Yolanda, but his axolotl or whatever she's called, girlfriend. And they're like, oh,
the asexual girlfriend.
Yeah, the asexual girlfriend. And they're like, oh, we can get together when we're 100. And she's like, what, are you gonna like get all the dentures together, create an AI robot, and then it'll go amok and then attack the rest of the residents? And he's like, I want to say no, but that's a possibility.
So good.
Yeah, I thought that was good. So, and again, that was foreshadowing him trying to build a robot, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But and then BoJack's Diane convinces him some way to, hey, you should go to rehab.
Yeah.
And then, which he almost doesn't. He almost not flops out, but she starts saying.
Well, they get there and she's basically like, you don't have to go in. You get back in the car.
basically she's like, you got two choices. You can continue to do what you've been doing or see what these people have to offer. The last shot we get of him is just as he's walking towards the door.
Yeah.
And then she drives away.
Do you think he's gonna go?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, if the next season started and immediately he was jumping out of a window, it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah, because I was wondering where they're gonna go with that. Like, does he go to rehab and it's successful?
Yeah.
And if so, does his life continue to be shitty? Well,
and it was interesting too because they reference, of course, a couple times when he does disappear from set. When he's down in New Mexico, the one time, and the other time when he goes and finds his old house and they like rebuilds it with that dude. And then, at least I think when the rebuilding one, but it doesn't seem like he keeps his alcoholism up in those instances. So it's like, probably at times where he wasn't a total dysfunctional drunk,
right? Yeah.
So it's like, he could do it.
LA might be the problem.
Oh, of course, because that's even what, I don't remember her name now, but in New Mexico, she's like, get out of LA.
Yeah.
She tells him, like, flat out.
What was her name? I can't remember.
Penny? Or was that the daughter?
I think the daughter was Penny.
Yeah, I don't recall exactly, but... and then, yeah, that's kind of where it, like I said, when it ended, because Diane just drives away and then there's some music playing, again, something somber, and then it just ends and I was like, oh my god, what is happening? Like, who am I?
It's like showing you like a picture for something completely
some kind of rom-com thing.
What the fuck, Netflix?
Yeah, and it was just kind of like, it really raises a lot of, because Diane's final speech, especially with BoJack, or at least the confrontational one, where she's like, yeah, you're not a bad guy, you just like, you do these things, you know, you just try to be make less bad decisions compared to good ones, and I was just like, oh my god, what is happening?
I can't handle this.
Yeah, it was, again, like I was saying near the top, it was like, I didn't know how to feel, like, and I still don't even know how to feel, like, just thinking about it now, I'm like, choked up but not. I was like, what has even happened?
There was a few times in this show that I felt like they were talking almost to somebody like specifically in Hollywood that was doing fucked up shit. Like, I don't know if it was like a specific, but like there was parts where I'm like, okay, if they did a fourth wall break and just turned and stared at the camera, it wouldn't be out of place. Like when they're talking about like, you know, you're just as guilty if you stand around and let it happen. And I'm like, did something happen? Like,
well, that whole interaction with Diane in Spanakopita, when she's like, okay, woman to woman, this is all terrible, like we should do that, and she gives like a long speech and it's all very much correct and, you know, etc. And it was just like, oh my god, this is so harsh.
It was totally harsh, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was almost like, are they talking like specifically to someone? Like,
possible.
Are we just really mad at
everything.
Louis C.K.
or like the whole Weinstein stuff. Because obviously that's...
Louis C.K. was just the first one to pop.
Right.
What was the other guy? The guy that had House of Cards.
Spacey. Yeah. Like...
Spacey, who's like... Sorry. Yeah. It's not funny, but he's like, people are like, you're a pedophile, you hit on 14-year-old boys, and he's like, I'd like to take this opportunity to come out of the closet. You're like, no, Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
You've missed the point. Get back in there. We're sending you to Dinosaur Island.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, like I said, I feel like I highlighted many of the things I really liked about the season.
Yeah.
It was so good. I watched it, like I said, in like a 3-day span. Well, 4-day span, I guess.
There was less animal jokes this season.
Yeah. I think they dialed back a little bit on that, though.
Yeah, but they can now. Like, it's been...
5 seasons.
It's been 5 seasons. It would get tired if they did as much now as they did in season 1.
Yeah, 1 and 2 definitely hinted at it more. There was more jokes around, that kind of thing.
Oh, this is season 5.
Yes.
Season 4 had that great, like... the mouse and cat history, which was hilarious.
Yes, that was quite hilarious. Well, just the whole PC-Stilton relationship was
hilarious.
Because it's like literally a cat and a mouse.
No, I don't know. It's great. It's a great show.
Yeah.
It makes me sad.
But it does, but it's also like, it's sad, but it's also not uplifting, but there is a positivity message sort of buried in there. It's like, you're doing bad things, but you can do not bad things. Yeah. You know, like, your life is not over because you did the bad thing. You could turn around, or, you know, something positive can happen. Yeah. Yes, you're going to feel like shit. Because BoJack even talks a lot about that, about when he's taking all the drugs. He's like, I deal with all this guilt constantly. Which again could be just be his excuse for taking more drugs, but But he's like, I'm guilty all the time for all these things, and Diane's like, you don't have to, or you can feel that guilt, but continue with life, right? Like, It was.
And then with Hollyhock, where he's just like, I need them, I'm in pain.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's not back pain. No.
Yeah.
Calling you on this shit.
Yeah, because he at one point in that episode just lifts her over a fence.
Yeah.
Just straight up. Yeah. So again, it was interesting though that they took a real world kind of thing, because that does happen to many people that get, especially back injuries or get into heavy car accidents, they get addicted to opioids and then they can't get off them.
Yeah.
And then they have to go to legal means and all that kind of stuff like that, right? So, I mean, that's a real world thing, and it was like, in this animated horse sad show, it's full on in the front, it's a plot line.
Yeah, in this animated show about a horse, let's talk about the opioid epidemic.
And sexual harassment of women and gratuitous violence against women in shows and all this stuff, right? Like, and I did, when I watched the first episode, this is sort of an aside, I was trying to figure out who Malik was. What was his name? Raymond Malik? The guy who plays Mr. Robot, or not, he's not Mr. Robot, he's in the show Mr. Robot. He's a pretty good actor. But he was Flip the whole time. And I was like, because I was like, is he Flip? Like, he's gotta be, because he's the only actor I didn't recognize voice-wise.
He's gonna be Freddie Mercury in the Freddie Mercury movie.
In the biopic, yeah.
But he looks just like him.
He really does. I watched the trailer and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Dude, it's Freddie Mercury right there.
I don't know if I'll see that, though. Yeah,
there was a great picture of like a behind-the-scenes thing where it's Freddie Mercury, or Raymond Malik as Freddie Mercury on stage, and you can see behind him Brian May, I think it is, the guitarist from Queen, and he's like smiling because he's like I'm looking at Freddie basically, right?
Aww,
yeah, it was kind of like that's pretty heartwarming right there.
I'm gonna cry.
Basically. But yes, he was Flip the whole time. I was trying to figure it out.
I had no idea.
Because I love that right at the end of the show when Flip's like, okay, we can find another episode, and he turns around and PC's gone. He's like, she's gone. Unless I was PC the whole time. He takes out the lipstick.
Oh my god, that was great.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. That one definitely made me laugh.
I also love in the sub-inter...
Yeah, interior sub. He's like, I meant to be Subway. And they built a submarine set.
No, when he's the dolphin on the floor.
Just freaking out. Yeah. I don't know what to do, and I'm afraid everyone will call me out on my show. And I liked in that episode as well, like you were saying, just like how all the notes behind him were all changed to just like ee.
Yeah.
Just like dolphin screech sounds. Because the whole season, whenever he goes in there, you can see like, who is Philbert's partner, and like ghosts and all these kind of like things.
His bit was so funny. Like there's the part where Diane's like, so is his partner alive or is he dead? And he's like, why not both? Like, yep, Hollywood.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. I don't. Unless there's something else you wanted to bring up. Sorry, because I kept on talking there.
No, I don't think so. I think I interrupted you whenever I went. I still really enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
I think I enjoy it now more than I did the first season.
Right.
Because I was kind of... It took me a few episodes to get into the first season.
Yeah, I think what I mentioned in our last episode about when we talked about season 4, it took me a few episodes because I was very hesitant about it. Because you had told me to try it out, because I remember seeing something about it and I was like, that looks ridiculous. Yeah. And then you were like, no, give it a chance. And then 4, maybe 5 in, it's just like, boom, I'm hooked.
Yeah. No, it's a really good show, and it's like... It's interesting to have a show where characters change and develop over time. 'Cause even with live action, you don't always get that, right?
Sure.
Well,
and especially like you said for animated, because there's no reason for them to do it.
Right. Yeah.
The characters are animated; they can live the same life forever.
Even X-Files, for example.
Right.
You don't get a lot of character growth over 9 seasons.
10 seasons.
10 seasons. How many fucking seasons there were? Because at the beginning, Scully doesn't believe in anything and Mulder believes in everything, and at the end, Scully doesn't believe in anything and Mulder...
No, at one point it flips, because when Mulder goes away and then they get the T-1000 in, Scully's the believer, because she's like, I've seen the shit, and then he's all like, I don't believe you.
Oh, maybe I didn't watch it that far.
Yeah.
But it takes a long time for this.
Yes.
As long as,
But that was the dynamic, right?
Yeah. But you know what I mean? There's not a lot of growth
No.
Compared to like.
Yeah, a show like this. And plus, I mean, the craft has gotten better, like I've said before, like when we talk about Game of Thrones or whatever, or Westworld as well, right? Like,
yeah.
The craft has gotten better, the writing's gotten tighter, the serialization worked so well.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that there's a middle episode that has nothing to do with anything,
oh god, that's such a good episode.
Still has everything to do with everything. It was interesting what I liked about that. I know a lot of fans were talking about that episode versus the Undersea episode. Like, which one's like the Emmy-winning one? And I was like, they both should be.
Yeah.
One should be for writing and voice acting, and then the other one should be for animating.
Yeah, the Undersea episode was great. I almost forgot about that one.
Yeah, that Undersea episode was pretty amazing.
Oh, I guess then that would be the equivalent. The funeral episode and Stupid Piece of Shit is the equivalent of him on drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, I just mean like...
Stupid Piece of Shit should have won all the Emmys.
It was a good episode.
And an Oscar.
Yeah. Something it can't even be nominated for, it's getting it.
It should have got it.
Yeah.
It's still one of my favorite BoJack episodes.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too because I never really would have... some of the actors that they get for voice acting, I never really would have figured them for, Will Arnett especially, right? But he's so perfect.
So good.
Yeah, he's so perfect and so good at it, right?
Yeah.
Something, even Alison Brie doing Diane and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
she's great.
And then, the show was quite good.
Who plays Mr. Peanut Butter, do you know?
I don't know his name.
I don't know his name either.
But
not someone famous.
No, I think it is. I remember that was like a cast list.
Isn't the guy from Breaking Bad Todd?
Yes, Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
So again, I don't think there's any more I could say to praise it aside from watch it.
Yeah, just go watch it.
Yeah, and enjoy it.
Don't expect that you're gonna watch King of the Hill or no.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not a funny one.
King of the Hill's comedic.
Family Guy.
Sure.
Don't expect that shit. Or Zootopia.
Yeah.
You'd be wrong on both counts. Very, very wrong.
Yeah. Oh, it's got talking animals. My kids will love this show. They'll just grow up with a general sadness now.
That's how you raise baby Kafka or something. Watch BoJack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we'll wrap it up then.
Sure, I guess. I mean, I again, unless
watch BoJack. It's good. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Way up. Enjoyable. So, if you like getting sad with us, you can go to our website.
I don't know. For a sad show, it sounds like we laughed a lot, though.
It's true. That's how we deal.
That's true.
It's a coping mechanism.
It is a coping mechanism of the younger generations.
Yeah, we laugh at everything.
Yeah, because otherwise it's too sad.
Yeah. Oh, I was just about to get into a really long conversation, but I won't.
All right, we'll save it for another time.
Over.
Instagram, follow us.
Tome of Uselessness with underscores in there.
Yeah.
And
check out our website.
tomeofuselessness.com.
Yeah, easy peasy.
We have another episode about the last season of BoJack. It was our first episode.
Yeah.
So go download that. It's our most downloaded episode for whatever fucking reason.
Check that one out before you watch season 5, then come back after you watch season 5.
Yeah. And
thanks for listening.
Download our other stuff, rate and reviews on iTunes. Bye.